You've felt it before, the sting of public humiliation. Maybe it was a meeting, a family dinner, or just some casual gathering. Someone throws a jab, a subtle insult, a comment designed to make you look small. Suddenly, the room shifts. All eyes are on you. Your heart pounds, your face gets hot, and your mind scrambles for the perfect comeback. But nothing feels right. Most people react. They defend, they explode, they laugh it off while dying inside, and then spend hours replaying it in their heads, wishing they'd handled it differently. But what if you could? What if, instead of reacting, you could respond with calm, precision, and quiet strength? What if humiliation wasn't a threat, but a test? In this video, I'll share 5 powerful strategies that will help you handle public disrespect without losing yourself. No drama, no over-explaining, just grounded confidence that no one can shake. If you're ready to train the kind of self-mastery most people only talk about, subscribe now. This is Stoic Spirit, and this is where emotional control becomes your superpower. Number 1. Speak with precision, not for defense. When you speak, let it be because it matters, not because you're trying to fix someone's opinion of you. Let's be honest. Most of us, when we're insulted or publicly criticized, feel the urge to respond. Not later, not calmly, but right now. We want to defend, explain, justify. We want people to know we're not weak, not clueless, not what that other person just tried to make us look like. But here's the trap. The moment you start defending yourself emotionally, you've already given the other person power over your peace. Not because you're wrong, but because you let their judgment set the terms of who you are. Now let me be clear, this isn't about staying silent forever. There are times when we need to speak. But the Stoic path, the path of inner discipline, teaches us to speak with clarity, not emotion. With precision, not panic. Imagine you're in a meeting and someone takes a jab. Maybe if you'd been more prepared, this wouldn't be such a mess. The typical response, "I was prepared. You don't know what I dealt with this morning." Or, "Why are you always coming at me?" Or even worse, nervous laughter, followed by rambling excuses. That's called reactive speech, and it always puts you on the back foot. But now imagine this instead. You take a breath. You look at the person, not cold, not angry, just steady. And you say something like, "Thanks for the feedback. If there's something specific you'd like to address, I'm open to it." Then you move on. That's precision. That's control. That's a refusal to let someone else bait you into looking unstable. Because here's the thing most people forget. Your words are not for them. They're for you. They're not tools to win approval. They're reflections of how grounded you are in what matters. You don't have to react to everything. In fact, one of the most underrated signs of strength is choosing not to explain yourself. Why? Because explanation often comes from a place of anxiety, of wanting to fix how others see you. But someone living with depth, someone who's anchored internally, speaks not to be liked, but to be heard when it matters. A famous example comes from Abraham Lincoln. He was constantly insulted in the press, called unfit, weak, a country bumpkin. But when asked why he didn't respond to every accusation, he said, "If I were to stop and respond to every attack, I would never have time to do my job." In other words, he knew what deserved his voice and what didn't. That's what this strategy is about. So how do you practice this? First, pause before you speak. If someone throws a jab, let there be a moment, even just 1 second, where you ask yourself, am I speaking to defend my ego or to communicate something meaningful? Second, rehearse a few calm, grounded phrases that work in tough moments. Things like, "That's one perspective." "Noted. Let's focus on what we can do from here." "You're entitled to your opinion." These aren't cold comebacks, they're boundaries in sentence form. They say, "I see what you're trying to do, but I won't play that game." Third, remember this truth. You're not obligated to correct every misperception. Let people misunderstand you if they must. You're not here to be decoded by everyone. You're here to live aligned with your principles. Because at the end of the day, people will say things. Some of it's true, some of it's projection, some of it's just noise. You don't control what they say, but you do control what voice you choose to give power to. And when your words come from conviction, not insecurity, they carry weight that doesn't need volume. Next time someone says something that pushes your buttons, stop. Before saying a word, ask, does this need to be said? Does it need to be said by me? And does it need to be said now? If the answer isn't yes to all three, breathe and let silence speak for you. If the answer is yes, speak slowly, clearly, and only once. Let your words be few, but let them land like stone. If this message resonates with you, and you're on the path to mastering yourself before reacting to the world, hit subscribe. This channel is where your discipline becomes your quiet strength. Number 2. Be anchored, not impressive. Don't aim to be admired. Aim to be immovable. We live in a world obsessed with appearances, with likes, applause, and constant validation. So when someone tries to embarrass you or make you look small in front of others, your first instinct might be, I need to prove them wrong. I need to say something clever. I can't let people think that about me. But here's the problem. The moment you start chasing the image, you lose your grounding. And that's exactly what people who humiliate others want. They want you off balance. They want you scrambling to rebuild your reputation in real time while they sit back and watch. But the person who's anchored doesn't chase impressions because they're too busy living by principles. Let's be real. There's a kind of power in not reacting the way people expect. When someone insults you and you don't get rattled, don't flinch, don't feel the need to explain. That unsettles them. Not because you're playing some mind game, but because you're rooted in something deeper than public opinion. You've already decided who you are, and no one else gets to rewrite that. Think of it like this: a ship in rough water. The storm comes, loud, unpredictable, chaotic, and while every boat around it is tossing and turning, there's one that doesn't drift. Not because it's bigger, not because the storm is weaker, but because it's anchored. That's what this strategy is about. You don't need to impress people when you've already planted yourself in something solid: your values, your purpose, your character. There's a story about a professional athlete. We'll call him Marcus. During an interview, right after a tough loss, a reporter smirked and said, "Some are starting to say you've lost your edge." Marcus didn't flinch, didn't defend, didn't even blink. He just said, "People can say what they want, I'll keep showing up." That's it. No anger, no long speech, just calm, quiet certainty. And you could feel it, the energy shift. Because when someone has nothing to prove, you can't control them. And that's what makes them powerful. So how do you live like that? First, decide what you stand for before someone challenges it. Ask yourself, what matters more, being seen as confident or actually being confident? Am I living to be admired or to be consistent? Write down 3 values that define you, not the ones you wish you had, the ones you want to live by. Then, when the moment comes and someone tries to shake you, you already know your footing. Second, embrace being misunderstood. That's hard, I know. But if you're living with integrity and someone still chooses to misjudge you, that's not your responsibility. Let them. Let them talk, assume, speculate. You stay anchored. Third, don't feed the performance. Like most public humiliation is a performance. It needs an audience. It needs your reaction to feel complete. But when you don't react, when you just stand there calm and composed, the performance falls flat. Because it's hard to play a game when the other player walks away. One more thing. Being anchored doesn't mean being cold. You're not shutting down. You're not building walls. You're just refusing to trade your peace for temporary approval. The Stoic in you doesn't care to be impressive. He cares to be aligned. She cares to stay the course. They care to walk through storms without losing what's essential. This week someone might make a comment, give you a look, or question your credibility. Pause. Don't justify. Don't try to win them over. Instead, remind yourself, I don't need to impress anyone today. I just need to stay grounded in what matters. Number 3, let dignity do the talking. Your silence doesn't mean you have nothing to say. It means what you stand for speaks louder. There's a moment after someone tries to embarrass you, belittle you, or paint you in a bad light where the room goes still. Everyone looks at you. And right then, you have a choice. You can strike back, you can defend, you can throw your own words into the fire, or you can stand your ground, not through force, not through clever comebacks, but through dignity. Because there's something powerful about a person who refuses to be dragged down. Someone who won't sacrifice their poise just to get even. Someone who lets their character speak, even in complete silence. Let's be real. We live in an age where people clap back instantly, where being quick with words is seen as strength. But often the ones who respond with grace, who stay composed while everyone else flails, they're the ones we remember. Not because they said something brilliant, but because they stood for something bigger than the moment. Let me tell you a true story. A young professor, early in his career, was interrupted in front of a packed lecture hall by a senior academic who challenged his credentials and embarrassed him mid-presentation. Everyone expected a sharp retort. Instead, the young man paused, then calmly said, "Thank you for your thoughts. I'll let the ideas stand for themselves." Then he turned and kept teaching. The room didn't erupt. It didn't need to. The silence was enough. Because when someone tries to humiliate you and you don't lower yourself to their level, you flip the entire power dynamic. You take the oxygen out of their fire, and in its place you light something much brighter: self-respect. Here's what most people get wrong. They think dignity is weak, that if you don't speak up, you've let them win. But dignity doesn't care about the scoreboard. It's not about public approval. It's about self-approval. You walked away with your integrity intact. They walked away exposed for needing to tear someone down to feel strong. So how do you live this way? First, remember this. You don't have to attend every argument you're invited to. Not every insult deserves your voice. Ask yourself, what do I lose by saying nothing? What do I protect by staying calm? Second, develop your inner posture. We talk a lot about body language, but inner posture, how you hold yourself under pressure, is what really speaks. When someone insults you and you respond with calm, with presence, with unwavering self-respect, people feel that, even if they don't say it out loud. Third, choose elevation. Yes, you could fight back. Yes, you could make them look small. But the high road isn't about looking better. It's about being better for yourself. Every time you take that road, your dignity gains weight. And sooner or later, it walks into the room before you do. There's a quote that goes, "What you allow is what will continue." True. But what you rise above, that's what people learn to respect and fear. Because a person who responds with class is a person you can't control. And the ones who try to provoke you will learn that quickly. This week, when someone makes a passive-aggressive remark, don't try to outwit them. Don't even smirk. Just breathe, look them in the eye, and move on with calm purpose. Let your walk, your tone, your steady presence carry the message. I don't need to prove myself. My dignity speaks for me. Number 4, train before the storm. The best time to prepare for the hit is before it ever lands. There's a reason elite athletes train harder in practice than the game ever demands. There's a reason soldiers drill through the same movements 1,000 times before ever facing a real fight. And there's a reason the strongest people you know never seem shaken when life throws a punch. They've trained for it, not when the storm came, but long before it. Now think about this. What if you could do the same with emotional storms? What if you didn't have to rely on luck or willpower when someone tried to humiliate you, because you'd already rehearsed how to handle it? This isn't about being paranoid. It's about being prepared. Because public embarrassment, criticism, judgment, they're not if, they're when. So instead of being surprised, what if you trained for those moments like a Stoic warrior would? Let's break this down. A Stoic doesn't hope for everything to go well. They know that life and people are unpredictable. So instead of begging the world to be kind, they fortify themselves from the inside out. One of the oldest practices in this philosophy is something called premeditatio malorum, literally, premeditation of evils. But in modern terms, it just means this. You mentally rehearse the worst-case scenario so it doesn't catch you off guard. Let me show you how it works. Imagine you're heading into a meeting. Before walking in, you take 60 seconds and ask yourself, what's the worst someone could say to me today? What would trigger my ego? How would I usually react, and how could I respond instead? Now picture someone does throw that insult, but instead of feeling blindsided, you feel ready. Not because it doesn't sting, but because you trained for this exact moment. Your breathing stays steady, your posture holds, and the other person? They feel it. They feel that they didn't catch you off guard, that you came in with your armor on. A startup founder, let's call her Lila, was preparing to pitch to investors. She knew at least one of them had a reputation for cutting people down just to test their composure. So the night before, she asked a trusted friend to role-play the harshest criticisms they could imagine. Lila practiced staying calm, responding with focus, and even not responding at all. The next day, when the moment came and the investor dropped the expected snide comment, she didn't flinch. She smiled slightly, paused, and replied, "Appreciate the candor. Let me show you the numbers behind our vision." No defense, no panic, just centered confidence. Why? Because she trained before the storm. So how do you build that? Start simple. Each morning this week, spend just 2 minutes imagining something going wrong that day. Not to dwell, but to prepare. Ask yourself, if someone challenges me today, how do I want to respond? What part of me is most likely to overreact, and how do I anchor that part? Second, create a mantra. Something short, grounding, and strong. Try, "I've seen this before. This moment was expected. I won't be moved by surprise." Repeat it, not just when things go wrong, but when they're calm, so it becomes your automatic response. Because at the end of the day, composure isn't magic. It's not something only a few people are born with. It's the result of quiet, daily discipline, of small choices made before the moment comes. And when it does come, that meeting, that insult, that public sting, you'll feel it, the shift. You won't panic, you won't scramble. You'll recognize the storm, and you'll stay standing. Because you didn't hope to survive it. You trained for it. Tonight, write down one situation that might challenge your pride this week. A person, a setting, a scenario. Then write out your ideal response. The posture, the tone, the breath. Visualize it like a script. And when the time comes, you won't be surprised. You'll be rehearsed. If this is the kind of resilience you're building, steady, intentional, unshakable, subscribe to the channel. This is where emotional preparation becomes personal power. And every storm becomes just another day you already saw coming. Number 5. Stillness as disruption. Sometimes the most powerful move is no move at all. Picture this. You're at a meeting, a dinner, or just out with a group of people. Suddenly someone throws a jab at you, a sarcastic comment, a cutting remark, something that catches everyone's attention and leaves the air thick with tension. All eyes shift toward you. They're waiting, not for an explanation, but for a reaction. But what if you didn't give them one? What if, instead of firing back, laughing awkwardly, or defending yourself, you just looked at them? Calm, still, unshaken? Because here's the truth. In a world obsessed with instant reactions, stillness is disruption. When someone tries to humiliate you publicly, what they're really doing is pulling you into a script. One where you play the wounded, defensive character, and they get to be the one in control. The moment you flinch, over-explain, or take the bait emotionally, you're in their hands. But stillness? Stillness breaks the script. It leaves them and everyone watching uncertain. It's not passive. It's powerful. It's not silence because you have no words. It's silence because you've already won the moment inside yourself. Let's be clear. Choosing stillness doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means recognizing that you don't owe every insult a reaction. It means giving yourself the space to decide whether this is even worth engaging. That space, that pause, is where real control lives. Think about how nature responds to provocation. The mountain doesn't argue with the wind. The ocean doesn't panic when it's rained on. And the deeply grounded person, they don't move just because someone else wants them to. Here's a real-world example. There's a story about a CEO in a board meeting who was directly insulted by a frustrated team member. Instead of raising his voice, getting defensive, or trying to put him in his place, the CEO did something unexpected. He simply paused. He looked at the man, calmly, held eye contact for a moment, and then moved on to the next agenda item. That's it. No lecture, no emotional escalation, just unshaken presence. And guess what? That moment said more about his strength than any speech ever could. Because here's what most people forget. You don't have to fight every battle to win the war. Sometimes restraint is the loudest response. So how do you practice this? Start by embracing the pause. When someone hits you with a cheap shot, don't jump in right away. Count to 3 in your head. Breathe. Not shallow, not tense. A steady, controlled inhale and exhale. Let your body signal calm even if your mind is catching up. Then, and this is key, Make eye contact, but without aggression. Look at them like you see through it, like their words bounce off you. Not because you're better than them, but because you've already decided this doesn't get to define you. If you need to say something, say it later. When your words can come from principle, not pride, and most of the time, you'll find you don't need to say anything at all. Stillness is not inaction. It's choosing the higher action, the action of inner discipline over outer noise. It's a rejection of the urge to prove yourself and an embrace of the deeper truth. The only person who gets to define your dignity is you. Let the world say what it wants. Let them throw their jabs. Your stillness will echo louder than their noise. Because when you no longer need to react, you've already taken back control. Next time someone throws a subtle insult your way, even something as simple as a sarcastic tone, do nothing for 3 seconds. Just look. Breathe. Let them wonder. That pause, that's you reclaiming the moment. And the more you do it, the stronger you get. You've just learned 5 powerful ways to handle public humiliation. Not by reacting, but by responding with calm, clarity, and quiet strength. When you choose stillness over chaos, when your words are measured, not emotional, when your dignity leads and your ego steps aside, you win in ways the world can't measure. This isn't about looking untouchable. It's about becoming someone who no longer needs to be defended, because your presence already speaks for itself. If that's who you're becoming, subscribe now. Join the Stoic Spirit community, where we turn everyday challenges into opportunities for real strength. And if you found value in this video, the ones waiting on your screen right now will take you even deeper. Click 1. Keep going. The path to self-mastery doesn't end here.